Okay, a while back I made a video on this type of electric kettle, and 99% of the time when it fails is this part doesn't make good contact with the base. There are two contacts here that are like spring loaded. In a situation like this, they are too far down, and what you have to do is to pull them up with a pick. Just lift them up a little bit and it'll work again. So I actually got the parts. I bought a couple of these sets. They're like $2.50 each set. Includes the base, and this is the base, and this is the base of the kettle, and this is the switch, the steam switch. So I can show you how this works. You have two contacts here, right? And when you put the kettle on here, this is supposed to make contact with the ring, right? You see the two copper contacts? If they don't make good contact, your kettle won't start, right? It doesn't work. That's long and short. The normal way of repairing a kettle that doesn't work is to replace these parts, and then there are many videos on YouTube that shows you how to make the replacement. Basically, you just unscrew everything and then it's plug and play. So that should be the way you repair this kettle. It's a safe way, but it is not my way, and I don't recommend you doing it my way because my way is not exactly the safest way. What I'm doing is, instead of using these two parts, I am wiring the AC wire directly into, or connecting the AC wire directly to the heating element. So I just pass the wire, a drill hole on the side of the bottom of the kettle, pass the AC wire through, make a strain relief for the wire, and then just hook up the AC wire directly to the heating element. So now that brass ring is not connected to AC. Bypassing this heating, this base here. This is the base that supplies the AC, and because the wiring is undersized, so this part here creates a problem. This part here creates a problem, so I'm eliminating these parts and wiring the AC into the electric kettle directly. And the steam switch here will still work. When the water boils, this will disconnect, it will shut off, and the kettle will still work. But then, of course, you don't have the safety margin of the boil dry. In case this switch doesn't work, this switch here is supposed to turn off the water heater. You see this metallic plate here. It will pop, and then there's a piston that disconnect the contacts there. So you won't have that safety margin. But when you're using the kettle, you shouldn't be, playing golf, right? You should be in the kitchen or wherever you boil water. Keep an eye on it. So when the switch pops, or if you see the switch doesn't pop for some reason, you would disconnect the AC. Just like if you have a kettle on a gas stove, you're not going to walk away. You're going to be there and turn off the flame when the water boils. So why should this be any different? So for me, it's better for me to do away with these two parts, keep the steam switch, wire it directly using my own wire, which is better than this wire. This wire caused this part here to melt because this is a thin gauge wire here, and yeah, this is the base that can also fail. So I'm eliminating two parts here. The only weak thing about this electric kettle is you have to remember to press this to lift it, or when you close it, instead of snapping it shut like that, press on this to close it. You have to close this because otherwise the steam won't get into that part there. That goes to the steam switch here. And if you don't close it properly, not enough steam will go to this part to pop the switch. So make sure you close the cover. Don't bang it like that, because when you just push it in like that, this push sideways and loosen, it will eventually loosen the switch. This switch is held on by one screw, and over time, if you keep banging it like that, this screw will come loose. This is already a bad design anyway, because they use a screw that will rust. In fact, two of the screws in there, they rust, and the screws here rust. So yeah, it's not a good design. And what I did was I put some epoxy so the screw will stay on there. But yeah, at least I don't have to worry about these two parts failing. So yeah, as long as you pay attention, using the kettle will still be safe, and you won't have to keep buying parts. Although they're pretty cheap, I can understand if you just want to replace all these parts, that's fine. But for me, I would just have this wire here. I have my own plug. See, there's no ground here, although with this pin here, that's the actual ground pin, but no wires is connected to this pin, no ground. So that's the two-prong, and that's all they have. And the way I do it is not for you, okay? Do it the safe way. So yeah, that's a long video on this very popular electric kettle. It's popular because it's cheap, and I've heard of stories in conflict areas where people use this to, make their coffee and whatnot. And when this fails, they don't know what to do with it. And of course, the easiest way is to pull the contact pin up so it will make contact with the brass ring here. But if you don't have these parts, just hook up the AC wire directly to the heating element. You know what's the best part of using this electric kettle? I use this 2 or 3 times a day. I'm using my solar panels and my batteries to power this electric kettle.